Hello, my name is George Laness. I live in the city at 311 Briarwood Drive. And I'm here to address you tonight about pedestrian access to the service areas of various government service areas to the south of the bypass and Noonan Road. In that area, we have the jail, the sheriff's office, West Georgia Technical College, Carroll County's Vocational School, County Health Department, Magistrates Court, the Department of Family and Children Services, Pathway Mental Health Facilities, and the county school system offices, and soon a new performing arts auditorium. The intersection is the only major intersection on the bypass without crosswalks. It's a complicated problem, and I understand that. The county's got to be involved, and the state has to be involved. But to date, the city has not been involved, and I think my plea is for the city to get involved. The chairman of the county commissioners has met with the state at the site, and they are doing a plan for crosswalks. It will be expensive, but there may be a possibility for state and county sharing. At the very least, I would implore the city council to look at extending the sidewalk, which now ends at Bedsoe Street. I'd say not quite half from the intersection of Bankhead and Noonan Road to the jail. If we would extend that sidewalk to the intersection, then we'll let the state and the county worry about the intersection, and we can worry about on the other side, but we need to get moving on that. With me tonight to speak on follow-up are two gentlemen from the Three Rivers Commission. The other thing the county has done, which the city can take advantage of, is they have taken the steps to implement a transit system. And our citizens, as I understand it, can take advantage of that and perhaps go to the Department of Family and Children Services, go to the Health Department. If you'd allow them to give just a moment, they're here and have come quite a ways.
Bring them up.
Mayor, your vote, right? Three Rivers Regional Commission, Robert Hyatt with Three Rivers.
Just wanted to let you know who we are and that we work for you. Three Rivers Regional Commission is a regional planning organization. It's created and managed under Georgia law by its member governments, of which Carrollton is a member government. One of our main things is to develop and help you develop community plans and to promote those plans. You received a letter probably back in May that talks about the scheduling of your comprehensive plan updates and what has to be done, and that you have to make a decision on this long schedule by June of 2017, and it's not due for another year and a half, but it's quite a long process. We've also placed in your hands some information about some of the programs that we operate or we administer on your behalf and on the region's behalf. Robert Hyatt is our Director of Governmental Services, and not only transportation, which he's responsible for, but it has another brief for you, which had been handed out to you.
Good evening. In your, you have a handout that was passed out just prior to the meeting. Lanier already went into some of it. Really, we just wanted to make sure you had it for reference information and to have our key points of contact in case there's anything that you need from the Three Rivers Regional Commission, and we can assist you. The key programs that we do work on, as Lanier mentioned, we do a lot of work with aging services and our senior centers up here in the area. We have a regional workforce development program. We operate out of the area Department of Labor here. That's essentially workforce training money that helps to train people for new occupations and jobs, to improve their employment outlook. We do a lot with transportation. You probably heard or read about our transit initiative in the local paper recently. We work with that, and we work with a lot of other mobility options to help people get around and provide that key connectivity, as you heard previously. And then our planning department works with our cities and counties on comprehensive planning, strategic planning and development, and data services. So again, in the back of your packet, there's some contact information for each of our areas. We would certainly love to come up and talk with y'all some more and work with y'all in any way possible to strengthen our regional communities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
Dwayne Hicks with West Metro Board of Realtors, and just calling again to ask you guys to show some pause and restraint tonight on any new ordinances. We've talked several times before in previous meetings about unintended consequences and perceptions of the development community at large, and we'd just like you to wait. We have a smart growth seminar scheduled for September 29th to be held at the Carroll EMC Auditorium. We've extended personal invitations to each of you guys. We'd love for you to come and start the dialogue and have conversation with what is best for creative ideas going forward. We'd like the city moving forward, housing for all people. We want it to be known as a city open for business for sure. Thank you.
Now, when is that Smart Growth Conference again?
September 29th, Thursday evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. No charge to attend. Open to the public and to you guys as well.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I came before this council in February and I made an appeal to fix the wrong done by the city of Carrollton. I provided information to all of you, and I made myself available to meet anyone who would meet with me. I'm sorry to say, not one of you contacted me. I have written letters here, I have sent emails here, I have done everything I could as a citizen, and yet I find the city to be completely irresponsible. I would request time from you all so we can look at this issue once for all and solve it. It's not that big of a deal. You all created the problem, and you are the ones who are going to solve it. So can I expect some solution to this issue? Because for me to come out here and just speak here, letters don't do no good here. And you are passing all these resolutions. Yes, sir.
Can you remind me of what you're talking about? If you don't mind, please.
If you remember,
I'm sorry, I really
okay.
am.
Back in May of 2014, you all passed a resolution where you rezoned a large number of properties in your city without notifying any property owners. It was completely illegal. And I found out about that 1 year after the fact. Most property owners did not even know about it, and many still don't know about it. Because it's easy for you to put vague ads in the paper and pass a resolution, just like you are doing now. You're changing the density for the multifamily, and most of the property owners don't even know about it. So what I'm saying is, in my case, it was done. Big losses to us, and yet I can't get anybody to pay attention to what I'm saying. It's a clear violation of property rights, and yet here it's life as usual. It should not be. Because today you are doing this thing to all these, maybe 20 or 30 property owners. Tomorrow this thing will happen to the fellow citizens. I'm sorry to say, but it got to be stopped. Do something about it and listen to what I'm saying, and I can provide all the information you need. But decision you have to make. And I think you'll have to make the decision. It won't go away.
Sir, I'm sure Tim wouldn't mind sitting down with you and making an appointment to talk to you to try to hear your side of your story and maybe get to a resolve, if at all.
Mayor Pro Tem, the bottom line is the property is zoned, and we cannot change it without going through the zoning process. So if he wants to rezone the property, and Mr. Rathy's I've explained this to him several times. If he wants to rezone, he has to go through the rezoning process. We can't just arbitrarily back up. This board could not decide tonight to vote otherwise. It has to go through the rezoning process.
Is that a
That's the
problem
law.
for you to go through the rezoning process again?
Yes, sir, it's a big problem.
Okay.
In the first place, this rezoning was done in a completely arbitrary fashion. Now, why do I have to go back through the process again and deal with same people who are stuck that they won't rezone it? And why should that be the case? There is no good reason for it, but yet it was done. And now, if you listen, look at the information out there. It is just absolutely ridiculous, but it has happened. And now, if it was done then, so problems are created, but they can be fixed also. Don't tell me this is once and it's written in stone. It don't happen. If there is a problem, let's look into it. And if I'm wrong, prove it to me I'm wrong. Otherwise, fix it.
Thank you very much, but 3 of us weren't here in 14.
I'm sorry?
3 of us at the table up here were not here in 14. When you said the property was rezoned, you said it was rezoned in 14?
Yes. Some of you are here, but still now the decision would have to be made by you because you are in government now. So mistakes can be made. I agree to that. But we cannot just wish them away. It won't go away. So help me out. I'm here. I'm available. After this meeting, tomorrow, this week, I'm here. But please listen to me.
See me after the meeting, I'll get your phone number.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to help you too. So thank you. And whatever I did wrong, I apologize for it. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you, Walt.
Good evening, gentlemen,
Whatever.
Mr. Mayor, fellow Carrolltonians, boys and girls. Pleasure being with you this evening. I'd like to speak to you this evening about something that is very near to my heart, and I think it is to yours as well. 1 block from here, there is a location with our magnificent refurbished Carrollton Depot. Tonight, I'd like to speak to you about its real future. As it now stands, its structure is unfinished as its full potential for tourism and profitability. The depot is a hollow shell without a vision or a true purpose. Our depot currently keeps the lights on from event fees. We need to ramp up that profitability bar by making the depot a destination as well. For visitors to drive to Carrollton and pay admission, the attraction must be exciting inside and out. This is a destination. They're not going to make the trip to see an empty building with office space. Build it, and they will come. Our destination will have a large museum-quality model train layout located in a passenger waiting room with wonderful displays for adults and children to engage and enjoy. These displays and exhibits will be found throughout the depot, including the current event spaces. Don't worry, we're not going to lose any seats or table space needed for our events. That's another 3 minutes, I'll tell you later. An additional space will be built to serve as a ticket office, gift store, hobby shop, all profit driven, with a welcome center, to inform our visitors to other attractions in our wonderful county. The hobby shop will provide supplies for modular train clubs once established. Other clubs from Georgia and surrounding states will join us for scheduled train meets, very public and vendor profitable beyond belief. Based on railroad venues here in the United States, and then we'll go through that at a later time, our depot should expect 125,000 plus visitors a year. At $6 a head for adult, children under 12 free, we're looking at about $1 million from walk-in traffic alone. Profitability off the charts. Do we really want to throw this away? And did I mention, I didn't mention that at all, but Atlanta, how about Atlanta and out-of-state bus tours? They are unbelievable as well. They're all hooked up. They're ready to go. I'm going to give you just one quick example of profitability. North of here in Blairsville, there's a wonderful venue called Misty Mountain Railroad. It is owned by Charles Giffen and his family. Every year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they donate the entire proceeds, 2 weeks of all the revenue. Last year, they gave the city of Blairsville, their historical society, and their Chamber of Commerce, he gave them a check for $200,000. He's done that 3 years in a row. Just think what we could do with 50 more weeks. 12 years ago, in 2004, I and 11 others were asked to serve on the basically our street depot committee, our Bradley's Depot, our Carrollton, it's now their Carrollton Depot. And I'm very pleased that out of that chaos came a magnificent building, which I'm very proud. Our city has never been in a better place nor a better time to really ramp this up and continue with something so magnificent. We're there. We've got it. We even have the parking in place. Let's just do it. In conclusion, we leave the depot as an event only, throw in some office space with no profitability. Yes, I used to rib Wayne Garner about this. We now have the lights on. Yeah, we'll have the lights on, all right, but waste an opportunity to capitalize on a true treasure that will give Carrollton a legacy that can build and build for years to come. Thank you.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, if I may, please, I would like to attest to what Jay is talking about. And for those of you who don't know Jay, Jay is a former Fisher-Price toy designer. I think that will get the kids excited in this room, certainly gets me excited. And I've been to his home before to see this train, which he had to fortify his house and fortify the foundation and the structure of the home to accommodate this huge train set, which features water and all kinds of wonderful things. In reference to the depot, it reminds me of a quote. You can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality. I think that depot sits there unused most of the time, and it's missing two things. It's missing people every day, and it's missing the train. I fully support you in your idea of turning the depot into a train, a portion of the depot into a train museum. I think it'll make downtown even more magical, and it'll give something else for the kids to do. So.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you, Jay.
Albeit, I'll hang on to the end of this meeting. If anyone would like to see some examples, I'd love to show them to you.
And Walt Disney said that, by the way. I forgot to say that.
Okay.
Yes, that
is
quote was
great.
from Walt Disney.
Thank you, gentlemen. Pleasure.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. King.
Good evening, gentlemen, Mr. Mayor. My name is Donald Avera, and I'm here on the property of 760 Martin Luther King. I'm a new resident of Carrollton. My partner invited me out to work in a barbecue business he's trying to get the permits for. I'm here just to thank you for rezoning it and to meet my new neighbors. Like he said, you build it, we'll come. Well, we're cooking it so y'all can come. Thank you.
All right. Good to see y'all.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
I think Mrs. North was here to say something in the back, maybe. Oh, here she goes. And I think we're forgetting, too, that you have to state your address and your name before you speak, if you don't mind, please.
Good evening, Mayor and the City Council. At the last meeting, I made a request about my street having, you would have to pass on the other side because of the scrubberies. And about 5 days, 2 days later, it was a bunch of guys down there, and they cut that, and we can see and we can pass. So thank you for what you've done.
Woo-hoo. Good news.
Is there anyone else? Hearing none, we'll move ahead. Minutes. Approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 1st, 2016 meeting as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your hand. That's right, you weren't here.
Yeah, I'm just going to abstain because I was on vacation.
We have approval. Let's see. Proclamation, University of West Georgia Day. Rory. Oh, set agenda. Excuse me. Did I miss that one? Yeah. Approve agenda items for consideration. Excuse me.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add discussion on the moratorium extension for multifamily.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. I believe what Mr. Rourke is attempting to do is add something to the agenda, and that is contrary to our ordinance and our charter. Section 2-32 says that in order for an item to be placed on the agenda, it either is placed by the mayor, it's placed by the city manager, or it's placed by 2 city council members. It also has to have 5 business days prior to any meeting, and this section does provide that the agenda can be approved, but I believe that means approval means what the items are already set on the agenda, means we can rearrange agenda items, not that we can come in and put a new item on the agenda. Just make a ruling.
So we'd have to wait till the next meeting to discuss the moratorium. Is that what you're saying based on city charter?
That's my point of order, is the mayor makes a decision. My point of order is in order, if it's taken or not taken, he makes the decision. He's the chair.
So,
Chair. Chair's going to rule along with Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So we're back to approval of agenda items for consideration.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as set.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Burton. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries 3-1. Number 1, proclamation, University of West Georgia Day. Roy?
Thank you. I got great honor to read this proclamation for the University of West Georgia Day, set as September 17th, 2016. Whereas the City of Carrollton, Mayor and Council recommend that the City of Carrollton establish a University of West Georgia Day to acknowledge its contributions to the City of Carrollton as a leading university in higher education. And whereas the University of West Georgia, founded in 1916, is a learning ground offering more than 85 programs of study to more than 13,000 students, awarding accredited baccalaureate, master's, specialist, and doctorate degrees. And whereas the university's rich history shows an unwavering commitment to enabling students, faculty, and staff to realize their full potential through an academic engagement, supportive services, professional development, and a caring, student-centered community. And whereas UWG continues to be a staple in the community, contributing to a thriving local economy and offering significant contributions to the City of Carrollton and its residents. And whereas UWG is nationally and regionally recognized for its quality education, exceptional leadership, and service to humanity. Now, I, Walt Hollinsworth, Mayor of City Council, do by proclaim September 17th, 2016 as University of West Georgia Day. And thanks to the universities for exemplary academics and dedication to the success of its students. Dr. Murray.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rory. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City staff. On behalf of the 13,300 students, the over 1,700 faculty and staff at the University of West Georgia, I want to thank you so much for this incredible honor and symbol of dynamic relationship that is shared between the City of Carrollton and the University of West Georgia. Together, I know we have built a strong foundation and partnership and have allowed us to make great progress in benefiting our community. And my hope today and in the future as we continue to work together for the benefit of our community, and my promise to you is that hand in hand, we will make this an incredible community we all believe in. Thank you all very much.
Yay!
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get it to him later.
Okay.
Number 2, certificate of recognition, 2015-16 state championships in the sports of gymnastics, swimming, and track. How many, do we have anybody here from the rec side on this? Bring them on down, Peter.
All you gymnasts, come on up.
Come on, lady.
Don't be shy. I've heard you in the gymnastic ring. You're loud. Come all the way around here.
We have certificates for all these.
Oh,
That's the crowd.
we did whatever he wanted. It started out with that many resolutions and cut down to one, so Sherry's got him some. I'm not exactly sure.
Also want track and swimming too, please.
She got it clustered into one thing instead of
Individuals.
individual readings. So I think he's got them each something. He's been here at midnight. He's by noon.
I don't know her. I just met her. She came up telling me what she done. She asked me who was I. Are we getting in the picture with them? We need to.
Yeah.
They're already taking pictures.
Well, they don't care about us. They care about the kids.
Do you want us in there? I think Walt's going to read. You going to read that one?
Do what? Carrollton Parks and Recreation Department 2015-2016 state and regional champions. It is with great pleasure and tremendous pride that the mayor and the city council of the city of Carrollton express our sincere congratulations to our 2015-2016 state and regional champions in the sports of gymnastics, swimming, and track for the Carrollton Parks and Rec Department. They are to be commended for a long and successful season, and we are proud of the record you have earned with the dedication, enthusiasm, and the willingness to work hard, as well as the fine publicity you have brought to our community. Therefore, we are pleased to publicly commend our Carrollton athletes for all their fine efforts and present this certificate of recognition as an expression of affection and admiration from the mayor and his council and all the citizens of the city of Carrollton on this day, September 12, 2016. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Congratulations, girl. Thank y'all. Well, you're her mother. That's important. Look at that. See, you done a magnificent job. Just think where she'd be if she didn't have you. Where would you be if you didn't have her? See? See, look at that. See y'all later. Handheld to read my circles. Okay. That's a great idea, sir. Great idea. Great idea. Testing. I'm exhausted already. Good Lord.
Number 3 on our agenda is proclamation in honor of Miss June Maxwell. Miss June, are you here?
She can stay seated until I read it, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I think what makes Carrollton so great are the great people who do things to help better humanity. And the other day, I was out buying crumbs for my chickens, and I was in the bread store, and I ran into that young lady in the back by the name of Miss June Maxwell. She was buying a lot of bread, and she told me she was feeding a lot of football players and that she had been doing it for a long, long time. So, Miss June, we celebrate you today for the magnificent things that you've done to help our community. Let's give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the Office of the Mayor, Carrollton, Georgia. It's a proclamation for Miss June Maxwell Day. Whereas June Maxwell was born August 18th, 1931. I'm sorry to have to say that. And was a graduate of Rooteville High School. I'm proud to say that. And whereas June Maxwell was married to Billy Maxwell for 65 years prior to his death in 2006. And she is the mother of 6 children, the grandmother of 14 grandchildren, and the great-grandmother of 5 great-grandchildren. And whereas June Maxwell is a member of Oak Grove Baptist Church, where she has taught and is still teaching the 3-year-old Sunday school class for the past 50 years. Wow. Bless your heart. And whereas June Maxwell, known to many as Mama June, I'm going to call you that, started cooking pregame meals every Friday for the Central Lions football team, which consisted of a traditional fried chicken dinner. When her oldest son played football, and she has since cooked for approximately 4,000 players and coaches for over 40 years. And whereas, in addition to her volunteer work and many contributions to the Central High School football team, June Maxwell has dedicated numerous hours of her time as a volunteer at the local soup kitchen and the homeless shelter. And it is well known by many that no one in need of help is ever turned away from Mama June. And whereas in recognition of June Maxwell's dedication to Central High School and her many contributions to our community, the road in front of Central High School was named June Maxwell Honorary Road. And whereas June Maxwell has been a powerful influence for good in this community, and she has earned and justly deserves this public recognition, and the mayor and city council of the city of Carrollton, Georgia, consider it an honor to pay tribute to June Maxwell, and now therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem, I do hereby proclaim September 12th, 2016 as June Maxwell Day in Carrollton, Georgia. And on behalf of the City Council and all of our citizens, we express appreciation to Mrs. Maxwell for her loyal years of service to this community and extend our best wishes for her happiness and prosperity in the years to come. Signed, Mayor Pro Tem Gerald Byrd, this day of September 12th, 2016. Come on down, Miss June Maxwell. She said she should have kept her mouth shut that day, but I know you shouldn't have. Miss June, would you like to say something?
All I'd like to say, what I've done over all these years, I've enjoyed it, and I hope I blessed all the boys and girls that's come through Central High School because I love them dearly, and I have a sweet family, and I had 6 children that graduated and went through Central, and I've got one more that is in the 8th or 9th, I can't remember which. And I have 5 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and I have 9 great children that went through Central. So Central has always been my heart, and I hardly miss a ball game ever. And I'm just thankful that I can do what I do, and I enjoy doing it.
Thank you. Oh, sit down.
And I thought I was coming today to honor Coach Birchfield, not me. That's what my children told me.
And Coach Birchfield is here too. Coach Birchfield, what if you and Mrs. Birchfield come up, and mayor and council members, could y'all come down and let's take a picture with Miss June? Can we do it right here, or should we go there? Let's go there. Can we walk there, Miss June? Thank you. You make me want some fried chicken right now, for real. I really do. I don't need it though. Oh, the whole family. Well, family, come on up here too. The whole family. That's what she said.
Y'all are going to have to scooch in more like all the swimmers did. One, two, three. All right. One, two. Say chicken. One more, and then we're done. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're good. Thank you so much.
Well, I normally stay in for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you. You cooked for Chuck when Chuck went to Central. Did Chuck go to Central? Well, I'm a Trojan, but I love Lions too. You're not. That's all right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mama June. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Woo. No, she's like, call me. I'm like, I can't call you. I'm city council.
Oh, where are we? Number 4. Resolution 21-216, Unified Development Ordinance Amendment, Multifamily Density. Ms. Erica Studdard.
Good evening. Got to get my stuff in order here. The following amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance was tabled at your last regular session, August session. The request is to reduce the maximum allowable multifamily density from 10 units per acre to 6 units per acre unless the development is treated as a special use. And it's also to define multifamily unit as having 1 kitchen and no more than 4 bedrooms. The intent behind this particular zoning designation is to allow this mayor and council to review each individual multifamily development of a certain size on a case-by-case basis. What this will allow is it will allow the mayor and council to review items like location. Is the tract available to existing city services? Does the tract provide a critical link to by developing pedestrian and or bicycle infrastructure as part of the project? Does the proposal include access to sidewalks, dedicated bicycle lanes, the Carrollton Greenbelt, or other alternative transportation corridors? Is the proposed development within one of the following community corridors targeted for revitalization? These corridors include Maple Street, Bankhead Highway, and Alabama Street, and I think we're going to hear a little bit more about that after a while. Is there a redevelopment of an existing property that would allow us to refresh our existing multifamily inventory? Does the proposed development replace and or renovate aging multifamily housing stock? If it's a student-focused multifamily proposal, is the property accessible to campus by sidewalk or bicycle? Will the property owners enter into an affiliate agreement with their target market they intend to serve, such as the University of West Georgia or West Georgia Technical College? And then are there details regarding the long-term maintenance of the site available? This will also allow a property that may, or a proposal that may have a unique characteristic that doesn't basically fit in with, it's not recognized in the Unified Development Ordinance. So it could, like I said, it could be a unique product that we just don't really have addressed within the ordinance. And then also it would give you an opportunity to look at the housing balance. I think Mr. Hicks mentioned earlier to provide housing for all individuals at all levels. Is there a desired balance of single-family, mixed-use, and multifamily development? And is that what we are seeing as far as development trends go? This ordinance, as I said a second ago, just lost my words. This amendment was tabled at the last meeting, and we have it before you tonight as written with the last meeting. Planning Commission reviewed this in their, I think it was their July meeting, and there were 4 yeses and 1 no in that meeting. It passed 4-1.
Is there any discussion?
I just have a couple questions. Eric, I meant to talk to you about this on Friday, and I apologize. I'm not trying to get you. I guess senior living facilities would fall under this unit definition.
An assisted living facility would not. It's classified as a separate use. So what I think there's been some terminology use where folks are calling senior living what is actually active adult. So it's based on the type or the style of development. Assisted living is really more a nursing home, and it's defined as such, I think, in the UDO.
Can you give me some ideas of what this would cover, what the structures would look like if I actually drove up and looked at them, what a unit would be?
It could be a combination of anything. A lot of it's how it's organized, as to whether or not it's a condo or if it's just a traditional, kind of apartment-style complex. Townhouses would not be included in that. Our UDO considers townhouses single-family structures, by definition.
I guess one more. You said a condo would count as a unit?
A condo is included as a multifamily structure by definition in our Unified Development Ordinance.
So we could go back and redefine that, correct, in the UDO, to
Oh,
carve out a condo. Do you know what the policy reason was behind having a condo that has its own separate title to be considered?
I can tell you that typically townhouses are fee simple with zero lot lines that access a public street. Condos are organized more like apartments, but they typically are for sale or fee simple units.
Right.
So
They have-
townhouses are excluded
Yeah.
because, yes, sir?
I said they have a deed.
Right. That's basically what separates a townhouse from a condo. Structurally, the way you would look at a condo versus a multifamily or apartment, you wouldn't know the difference unless you went and checked to see if they were deeded separately.
So all our lofts around would be considered condos, right?
It depends on how it's structured. The new loft that's being renovated on Bradley Street that's yet to open, I think they've got, Tim, how many units do they have?
I thought it was 11.
Okay, there's 11 or 12 units right downtown. Those are not condominiumized. Those are actually just rental units. The ones next door to us, Lawler Lofts, those are condominiumized. They were not developed, if my memory serves me, as condominiums. They were transitioned over after a certain period of time. A lot of times that's done whenever they're trying to utilize historic tax credits because there are some regulations regarding the tax credit program. So it really just depends on the project. I mean, you've got the ones over off of Johnson Avenue. I believe those are condominiums. The Midtown Lofts, those are considered condominiums. So it's really hard to look at them and know the difference. You'd really have to go back and check the deed.
So, but I've never heard the word condominium being used in the jargon for this particular resolution. We're not talking about condominiums, though.
Condominiums are included as a multifamily kind of use in the definition, and I can actually pull the definition for you if you'd like for me to.
Okay. Condominium meaning they're attached to one another. Is that what you mean when you say that?
No, condominiums, townhouses are attached, but a townhouse has basically a zero lot line with access to a public street, if that makes sense. So Abbey Place off of Rome Street is a townhouse complex. A lot of times they've got dedicated driveways for each individual unit. They very much look like single family, but they're attached. Condos can be organized like a multifamily dwelling, but the actual ownership is really just kind of the interior of the dwelling, if that makes sense. So,
Mike, this is what I want to ask. I really want to know, what is our goal here? Maybe you can answer that. What are we really trying to do?
Do you want me to answer?
Can Matt answer that question?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I want you to answer.
Sure. What we're trying to do, Gerald, is that 48% of our housing stock in the city of Carrollton is multifamily. Okay? I think that's unhealthy for us in the long term. We already have other apartments in the pipeline could be built, and we could push our housing stock to 50%. You saw that study. You saw that as to other cities of comparable size, we're an outlier. We have more apartments. Listen to me. I mean, you asked me. Go ahead.
I'm all ears. What is the solution, though? Okay, let's say we have too many apartments. What is the solution to the problem? What, do we kick people out of the apartments and tear down apartments? And I mean, I'm just confused about what we're trying to do and what the purpose of all of this is for. I mean, I understand. I see the hard facts. I see the numbers. But Gerald Bird's phone won't stop ringing. I'm looking at you, but I like you, and I'm not talking to you about this. But I'm about to say some stuff.
Right.
Okay. My phone won't stop ringing from people calling me saying they don't have any place to stay. I met with a professor last week who is very well educated, has a PhD. She has a house in Atlanta. She just got a job here. She doesn't want to drive back and forth to Carrollton, but she's not ready to purchase a home here. She needs a place to stay. She can't find a place to stay. I just don't believe that. I know we have the numbers, and I know that little man that came and talked about all this stuff the time we were at wherever we were and heard all the facts and numbers and digits. But forget the numbers. Let's talk about people. There are people in this town with no place to stay, and there are not enough apartments here. I'm sorry. I'm talking about walking the streets every day. That's how I found Miss June, because I get out and walk, and I talk to people, and I get to see slice of life every single day. They have no place to stay. Since I've been sitting here, I probably have 3 inbox messages from women right now with no place to stay. I guess that's because we have too many apartments. And I know there's a waiting list at Park Place. There's a waiting list at Magnolia Lake. There's a super duper waiting list at Carrollton Housing Authority because we just tore down 51 units. Where did those people go? We're tearing down more houses that people are occupied in. We tore down those houses over on, what's that street by McDonald's, Cunningham. I know I voted in favor of that, but those people had nowhere to go either. There's just not enough housing here. There's not enough multifamily housing here, and there's not enough affordable housing here as well. I'm going to stick to that. And again, I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about facts. I'm not talking about data. I'm talking about real people who are walking the streets with no place to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing that you might want to consider with this special use is that allows us to take people into consideration. It's really easy to put facts and data into the UDO, but if you're looking at it on a case-by-case basis, it allows you to take that kind of intangible into context, and so you're able to look at the development and say, is this serving a group that's not currently being served? And so that's one benefit to having this come through as a special use, because I absolutely
See, that's what
agree.
I'm sensing. I'm sensing an undercurrent of discrimination. That's what this smelled like from day one to me, and I can't keep sitting up here taking it.
I don't see how that's possible. I take issue with that, Gerald. And
Well,
no,
it's probably
hold
because I'm
on,
from an
Gerald.
apartment complex
Gerald,
myself.
I'm not,
You know what
Gerald,
I mean?
I've lived in
I'm
apartment
used to that.
complexes, and I'm not anti-apartment complex, and I want to build brand new apartments Mr. Mayor, I'd like you to call people point of order. If they're gonna, I don't think the public should be sitting here oohing and awing. Gosh.
Please restrain your comments,
Thank
please.
you.
Y'all can restrain y'all, but I'll speak for you up here. I got you.
The city of Carrollton currently is 57% white. 30 years ago, it's like 85% white. So to argue it's discriminatory, that's outrageous. It really is, Gerald.
Well, you raised it.
60% of the students over at Carrollton City Schools are on free lunch programs. Okay, so we don't have a poverty issue. We don't have. I'm just stating that. I mean, we do have a poverty issue. I didn't mean like that.
Man, you need to take a walk with me after this.
Gerald, I don't take. I don't mean it like
you
that.
Poverty, man.
But Gerald, I'm not.
I like you, but I can show you poverty.
I've seen poverty, Gerald.
It's just right over there and right over there and right back here. Just a few steps from us. And even in this room.
One thing that we can look at when we're looking at these things and as a special use is like I said, we can take the intangibles into I guess, consideration. Also, these are things that we can put in an application procedure. It kind of gives you guys a kind of a jumping off point as to how are we reviewing it. Basically consistency. I think that's what's fair is consistency. And then also, I know that Mr. Hicks mentioned the Smart Growth Seminar. I hope that possibly we can build on some of the things I just mentioned. I do feel like there'll be a lot of good information gleaned in that meeting, and I certainly plan on attending, and I think several staff members are also going to attend. So that's, like I said, I gave these as examples of why we might go about doing a special use. Like I said, it gives us an opportunity to move forward, essentially.
And Erica, if you please, I have a couple questions. In the fourth paragraph, it says, whereas the consultant has determined that the city has a far greater percentage of multi-family housing in relation to single-family housing than other cities of comparable size and characteristics, including other such cities with college campuses. Did these comparable cities adopt the same or identical resolutions that we're trying to adopt tonight?
I haven't looked into that. We're basically trying to compare apples to apples, so we did college towns in Georgia. Then we also did some just kind of peer cities that were not college towns, so that you guys would have kind of as broad of a snapshot as possible.
And we do have the findings from the consultant, correct? And do we have hard numbers? Like, can he show us hard numbers in the final report? Maybe I've seen those before.
And I think Matt mentioned the multifamily number that was produced in the final report as well.
And since we're talking about housing stock and inventory, will these numbers also correlate with the numbers from the Carrollton Housing Authority? Like, will it show us, and I may not speak the real estate jargon, but will it show us the need as well? Will the report show us the need for housing as well? And do we have a plan in place for that need? For instance, if it's showing us that we need more single-family housing, do we have a plan, and what are we going to do to encourage the building of single-family housing in the city of Carrollton? I'm saying that I'm asking that question aloud. I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at you because you're standing in front of me.
Right. No, that's fine.
Can I address that, Mr.
Yes, sir,
Mayor?
Tim.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Just as one example, I mean, what we clearly heard from you is we need to incentivize, not from you, from this whole council, we need to incentivize single-family housing. And that includes affordable housing. Now,
Yes,
we're not
sir.
talking about mansions. We're talking about houses for everyone. Erica and I met with developers last week who already signed a contract on a piece of property, and they want to do 200 units of individual homes, rooftops, and this is a win-win. This is going to be housing for folks that need housing, but it's also going to pay the tax bill that we're worried about paying. So we're getting there, and we're going to come to you. That's probably going to go for zoning between now and the end of the year, and we're going to come to you with some incentives. And I'll tell you what the incentive is. It is for them to build a green belt to that property, and we give them a payback like we did on those sewer lines at Esco Way, and that way that is a win-win. That way they get that off-site green belt paid for.
Well, I'm
and
in
everybody
full
wins.
support of this housing program that we've encouraged from up here. I'm in full support of it, and that makes me happy, and I'm sated now as a council member because I certainly, you know, we all have our constituents that we represent, but everyone knows that I have the highest number of people living in poverty in my ward. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your work on that, and I'm looking forward to approving and working with you guys on that.
One thing, I mean, we have met with several developers about projects. One thing to keep in mind is kind of our historic growth trends, I guess, that the city has seen. I think Tim had mentioned some numbers in the past about that. I mean, we've not seen these skyrocketing numbers that you may have seen possibly in communities that might be feeding Atlanta. We are a relatively independent community from Atlanta. I think we've benefited from that greatly. I think there's a strong sense of community, and that's why everybody's so passionate about this particular issue. And I think that if the end game is to have these skyrocketing numbers, I mean, it would be interesting to look at just kind of our historic numbers. I think Tim pulled, at the height of the economy, you pulled the single-family numbers, how many permits we were right, and that's in an entire 12-month period. So these aren't huge numbers that that even at, like I said, even before the bubble burst that we were putting out. I think that slow growth that we've seen, and it's really kind of been in line with our population growth. Our population growth has also been slow and steady over the last several decades, and I think we've kind of grown up as a community as our population has grown, and we've seen, you know, job growth, you know, housing growth, and population growth all be in line with each other. And so I think that's an important thing to consider. I'll go back to, you know, the special use permit gives us a chance to look at some of those intangibles. It would give you a chance to look at, okay, we've had, you know, these subdivisions come in, these single-family subdivisions come in. You know, there is some opportunity for some multifamily that's not being exercised. You may see a development come in that has a mixture of both single-family and multifamily, and really kind of combining the different income levels within a single neighborhood, which I think is a goal, a real goal of the community. So those are just all things that it really opens the door for you guys to kind of I guess, review the things that are important to this community.
Rory and I had a conversation today about quality building and making sure that these structures are high quality structures that will last, but also be affordable at the same time. So I ask, as you go to the table, to take those things into consideration. And the other thing I wanted to say too is there's no place like home. There's nothing. I grew up in a housing project, so to move from a project to a house was an incredible feeling that is totally inexplicable. And I cannot express to you the feeling from going to public housing into going into a house with hardwood floors and nice walls and tall ceilings and chandeliers and ceiling fans. It felt like the Jeffersons. So home brings hope too. And when we start looking at the crime rate, and you know, I think that's something Matt alluded to last time was, you know, the crime rates are high in apartment complexes, but when we bring hope to people, they're less likely to commit those crimes that they're committing right now. There's no place like home. And I just thought I wanted to say that. Another thing I want to say too, somewhere in this report I read that there's a finding too, that people in apartments are like consuming city services and costing the taxpayers more money. One thing I'd like to remind everybody of is that a lot of poor people don't have transportation, and they don't have a way to get to the places they're going, and they spend all their money locally. The poor people who I know, the people I know who are living in poverty, they spend their entire paychecks every week playing the lottery, playing slots, buying things from convenience stores, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they keep their money locally. I don't always keep my money locally. I go Douglasville, I go to Lenox, I go to places, I go to the outlets, I go everywhere. So I'm a little bit more guilty, I guess, of not spending at home, but they spend their entire paychecks here. I know people who exhaust every penny they have because they say, "Oh, I'm getting another paycheck next week," and they're walking places because we don't have public transportation. So they are adding to the economy in Carrollton. They are not a loss, and they are people. We can talk numbers all we want to, but we have to remember that tangible element that you talked about. The intangible is in front of us, but the tangible are those human beings who are out there living and breathing and trying to make a living every single day. And they're nice people.
I 100% agree. This particular, like I said, this particular revision to the UDO would allow us to look at transportation as well, kind of off-site, so to speak, so that there are some alternative ways to get to both school and work and, to the store. A lot of folks, it's been interesting, this last section of Greenbelt we built immediately, before the concrete was dry, people were using it just to go up to the convenience store and get something to drink. They don't have access via sidewalk right now. And so that was the way that they were using it. And our contractors were out there meeting, and that's exactly what they said. So, I think these are all things we would want to have a chance, or you guys would want to have a chance to review. That's why I specifically laid out, like I said, we can add to this list after we, like I said, meet with the realtors with the Smart Growth Conference and that sort of stuff. But these were just a few things that I think we can include in an application procedure so that they will know up front what the expectation level is. And that's, like I said, that's why I mentioned those. But transportation is key. Both students, affordable housing, everyone that basically has challenges. Cars are expensive. Not everybody has one, and we need to make accommodations for that.
Thank you,
Erica, I'm sorry, you said a senior living facility is properly labeled as an active housing. What's the term?
We've kind of called it active adult, but it's not in our UDO as that. We don't in our UDO have a multifamily development that's, say, 55 and over. Like I think Park Place is 55 and over, correct? So that's just identified as multifamily in the Unified Development Ordinance. But like I said, that is something that I think there's a great interest level for it. We've met with developers to discuss just that type of use, that active adult. Folks want to age in place. They don't want to go to facilities. That's kind of a trend that is emerging across the country. And I think there's a lot of developers that have picked up on that. So although it's multifamily still, I think it's something that could be considered, like I said, if you're looking at it as a special use, that would be a good chance for you guys to look at that.
I just want to clarify, too, the one point of this ordinance change was so that you could give a much higher density than you can currently give. So if someone comes forward with this special use with a product that you like, you can give a higher density. This also incentivizes the redevelopment of blighted apartments, and there are at least 3 I can think of. I know that one in particular, their own attorney told me they only had a 25% occupancy. That was a couple of months ago. It's probably less than that now. And so we'd like to see that redeveloped. This will allow you to do that. It'll let you dictate quality. It will let you give them more units so they have an incentive to do it. And so that's really the key to this. And the reason we wanted to do this is that they won't be stuck with 10 units to the acre. They could go to, more. If it took 12 or 13 or whatever to make the product work, we'd like to see we'd like to see these blighted ones redeveloped.
And would that be like a Carrollwood or?
I'd like to just say a couple things. So on this density shift, it's by no means looking at trying to only have 6 units per acre in a for multifamily. You're not going to be really able to build much multifamily with 6. What it will do is allow us to create some set of guidelines, work with the board of realtors to look at what pieces do we need to have in there in a way to be able to lift the moratorium at the same time. I really see that we need to partner with the people that market our community to ensure that the development is there in the areas that we want to see it. That'll help connect people to the green belt, to business corridors that we want to see growth in, which will require higher density than 10. Most spaces around town, you wouldn't really be able to have 10 per acre to make it make the cost actually work. So special uses will have to come through regardless. Looking at it from at this shift will just help create this set of guidelines. As long as the communication is there to be able to have that that list created for that policy of aspects of building that we're looking to create. Does that make any sense? What I just
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Lane?
I move that we adopt Resolution 21-2016.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, but I'd also like to make a motion to amend this resolution. I would like to add in the removal of the multifamily moratorium at the same time.
We have a second, but we have a motion. So we're going to have to vote on the motion first, right, Chuck?
He's got it.
Yeah, we need a second on the motion. To
On the
amend
motion. There's a second on the motion.
first.
Hold on, I thought there was, the primary motion was seconded,
That's right, but now we have a
but
motion.
then he made a motion to amend.
And that, we're waiting on a second for the motion to amend.
I second the motion to amend.
We have a second for the motion to the amend.
And now we need a vote on whether to amend Matt's motion. So the vote would be to amend the motion to reflect the change that Rory suggested, which is in addition to adopting the resolution, including as part of that, lifting the current moratorium.
I'd like to make another motion to amend. I'd like to make a motion to amend what Roy set forth, plus that the unit defined for purposes of multifamily development, each unit shall have a kitchen and no unit shall exceed 4 bedrooms, except unit will not include condominiums, townhouses, senior living facilities, also known as active living, as those residencies are described in the UDO. I'm carving out condominiums, townhouses, senior living facilities, or whatever word we want to use, as those are defined in the UDO.
Do we need to create a different zoning category for that or not?
It would be nice to define it so that we'll know what senior living, or is it 55 and over? Is it?
In the UDO, that's why I was asking you, the UDO does not define senior
Correct.
living.
Correct.
Then I would define senior living
We'd have to send that
to the
planning first.
planning. But I want to carve out senior living. I just say we just say any 55 or older. I mean, I don't know, Chuck.
What I want to do, I want to make sure I understand.
I want to
Are
table
you
it.
carving that out from the definition of unit so that a unit is not a kitchen with 4 bedrooms, or is your intent to carve that out from the density limitation?
My intention is to do both. But by defining unit, and I carve it out a unit that is not subject to the 10:6 density. Those residencies would not be subject to this.
Okay. I want to make sure the mayor and council are clear on this
Right.
resolution as it's presented. It would limit all property that is zoned RM to 6 units to the acre unless you get a special use permit. Keep in mind that more things can be built on RM property than just multifamily. You can have single family, for example. So it would have a density limit, first of all, on all property zoned RM. Whatever the proposed use, condominiums, townhomes, single-family homes, if it's permitted in RM, under this resolution, it would have a density limit of 6 units to the acre. It similarly, in the design standards, specifically says that there's a limit of 6 units to the acre for multifamily as that is designed. So we just need to give some thought. If the effort is to not have these changes apply to those specified uses, then I think we need to identify those uses and say that the density limit shall not apply to townhomes, condominiums, et cetera, even if they're in an RM property. I'm sorry, even if they're on an RM zone property. The problem that I have, honestly, is without looking at the UDO and sitting down with Erica, I can't make sure that we catch, every place where it's mentioned in the UDO.
Chuck, which is why I think we should table this tonight. Y'all should go back to the drawing board and give us a visual, because, this is all up in the air, going all over the place. If I could see it in writing, in print, in front of me, then vote on it, I'd feel much more confident about it. There's too many holes and too many loopholes, and it's just too tricky right now and too convoluted. Maybe it's just me.
The special use piece with the guidelines will help us define what we want, not just for it to look like, because a four-sided brick building isn't always the best solution. We can say, oh, that looks pretty, that looks wonderful, but ultimately, does it fit in with location? Does it fit in with the density need for that area and everything like that? I think if we drew a picture and said, here's what we want all of the buildings, that's not going to solve our problem. It probably create a bunch more problems. I think looking at our guidelines and making sure that we're creating a good list with the people that know development in that area, that can help us define where we want to push it, will really be a better solution.
Well, let me say this to my motion real quick. Before I went to Six Flags and I rode the mind bender enough, I don't need another mind bender. So it hasn't been seconded. So
your motion
this has
to
not been
amend has
seconded.
not been
So I'm going to withdraw my motion. Still my motion to make it simple. Okay, but I think everybody knows where I want to go. We can figure out how to get there. So,
All right.
but we have a motion only on the primary. No one seconded yours yet, Rory. Oh, he did. Okay.
Now we need a vote on whether to amend the primary motion, which would be to include Rory's change. You'll still have to vote to approve that, but what you're voting on right now is whether or not to amend the primary motion.
So I make a motion to amend the primary motion. What do I need to second?
It's already been moved.
You already seconded.
Oh. We just need a vote.
Oh, now we need to vote. Okay.
But again, it's just to have the amended motion before the body. It's not to approve it. It's just to have that amended motion before the body.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Does everybody understand? Because I'm not real sure I do.
I just wish we could table it and come back with this and that make it more cohesive, make it make sense. I think the public is confused. When these meetings are over, I talk to people out in the parking lot and they're all confused and don't know what, and I don't know what the heck is going on most of the time because it gets so convoluted. Yeah, I'm an artist, but it gets so convoluted. So I think I'd like to make a motion, if I may, Chuck, to table it.
If we're going by the book, we would need
vote
to
on the
vote
motion.
on the motion to amend the motion.
All right, so we have a vote on the motion, on the amendment to the motion. All in favor of the amendment that Roy made to the motion?
Here we go again.
All opposed?
Okay, so that motion fails. So the motion that is now before the mayor and council is a motion to approve Resolution 21, 2016 without Rory's amendment.
And I'd like a motion to table, what number are we on right now? To table Resolution 21, 2016, the Unified Development Ordinance Amendment until our next meeting.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I would treat that then as a substitute motion.
Have a substitute motion, you're exactly right.
So we now have a substitute motion to table it until the next
That
meeting.
needs a second. Have a second, Mr. Roy. Is there any more discussion on this? Gerald?
Let's table it and clarify it and make it user-friendly and easy for the public to read and people who don't necessarily speak the jargon like me.
All right.
Okay, so now we have, we're going to vote on the amendment?
Substitute motion.
Substitute motion. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. So we've tabled it.
Second time.
Huh?
Tabled a second time.
Yeah.
It's good exercise.
Number 5, Resolution 2016, excuse me, Unified Development Ordinance Amendment, Planning Commission composition. Erica.
The fifth item on your agenda is an amendment that staff originally proposed to basically amend the composition of the Planning Commission and then to also place some sort of kind of attendance requirement for those that are choosing to serve. This is to address, I guess, the previous 12 months. There have been times where it's been difficult to get a quorum. The staff recommendation for this particular composition change is to increase the number of Planning Commission members to 10 and to allow the mayor and city council to appoint up to 3 members to the Planning Commission who do not live in the city, and then to remove any Planning Commission member who misses more than 2 meetings in a calendar year. The Planning Commission reviewed this at their August meeting, and they made a few revisions to the staff proposal for the UDO amendment. The revision was that they went with the number to 10, increasing the number from 9 to 10, but they wanted to revise it so that the mayor and city council shall appoint members that live in the city of Carrollton, with the exception of current serving non-resident members, so that these members basically will be grandfathered in and still have the opportunity for reappointment. In regards to the attendance requirement, the Planning Commission made the recommendation to amend that to read any commission member who misses more than 3 consecutive meetings within his or her 3-year term, or for other cause, or on written charges after a public hearing, the mayor and city council may choose or have the authority to remove that member. It doesn't say you're required, it just says you have the authority to, should you so choose.
So, Eric, I want to make sure I understand that. So, if they miss 2 in a year, they're basically off, but it has to come before us, this body, in these meetings, correct?
Correct.
So, if they miss 3 consecutive meetings, they're also off. Like they're instantly off if they miss. I don't get
No. The staff recommendation was 2 in a calendar year. The Planning Commission revised that during their August meeting to say 3 consecutive. That got us around the December to January kind of loop as far as the calendar year goes. So,
And they meet once a month. I know for a long time, especially when the economy was bad, they didn't meet that much at all. But they meet once a month now?
they meet once a month if there are agenda items. That does not mean that they meet every month.
I'm in agreement.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm in agreement with the 3 consecutive meetings, changing that 2 to a 3. Absolutely. That's a whole lot more reasonable and human and humane. So, yes.
I'm going to go ahead. Roy, do you care? Make a motion to adopt Resolution 22-2016.
Ooh, I had another comment. I wasn't done. Also, where I think it's paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, paragraph 4, whereas Section 8102 membership of the UDO currently requires all members of the Planning Commission to live in the city of Carrollton and allows the mayor and council to remove members for cause. That bothered me a little bit, but I think I understand a little bit better now. But I think this must be communicated to members of the council. I think that's where we hit a snag before. It wasn't communicated to me. And there were no issues communicated to me. There was just, my designee was just removed without my knowledge of that. So that was one thing. Will that be communicated to us at all? I guess by putting it on the agenda, that's communicating it to us, correct?
Mayor Pro Tem, I just want to make sure that I understand what we're doing, because we want to get her back on. That's the last item on the agenda, is for you to reappoint her.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to make sure that we're doing that.
Okay, good.
And if you don't mind, I want to clarify, is the motion to change it to 10, allow for 3 outside the city, and require that they miss 3 consecutive meetings to be removed, and then they would take action by the council? Is that the motion? I would just like to clarify.
You made the motion.
Yeah, that's the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Yes, removals must be voted upon as well as new additions. Some people will have extenuating circumstances that should be deemed excusable by mayor and council, including but not limited to sickness, death in family, accidents, sickness of children, spouse, and family members.
Whatever you want.
Let's put that in there.
Well, this doesn't require their removal. If they miss 3 consecutive meetings, it would still take action by the
To
mayor
vote
and council
on
to
us.
vote
Okay.
removal.
So we can hear their calls that day. Like,
Correct.
oh,
You
my
can
baby
look
was
at
sick,
it on a
or-
case-by-case
yeah,
basis.
Okay. I just didn't want us to come across too cold. You know what I mean? I think that's a little cold.
These are volunteer positions, and that's a tough
Yeah.
job. So.
And we appreciate their service to our city.
There's more discussion. Then we'll call the question.
I'll call a question.
Question has been called. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0. Number 6, Resolution 23-216, Unified Development Ordinance Amendment, Modular Structures.
The sixth item on your agenda is a resolution to amend the Unified Development Ordinance to allow the placement of modular structures in the C2 and C3 zoning districts, but only with a special use permit, which would require action by the mayor and city council. This request originated by a petitioner to the city of Carrollton actually prior to my employment, and so I don't have the details of it. And we agreed that we would put this before you for your review. The Planning Commission reviewed this at their October meeting and unanimously voted to deny this request. 7-0.
Was that the church? Oh, that was not the church.
No, sir.
No,
The church item passed, and churches can use modular structures. This was the gentleman that approached you at your business and wanted to have some sort of modular unit and have a restaurant in it on MLK.
The barbecue trailer.
The guy who was just here.
It could be. I never met him.
Yeah, his cohort came up and thanked us for.
But realize this does not approve his modular structure. This allows the process for him to bring a modular structure before you again. This allows for that process.
Erica, would this be a special use situation also?
Absolutely. It would go before the Planning Commission and then a recommendation from the Planning Commission to the mayor and council for each individual use.
And then we could modify it. I mean, right now, do we have anything in place?
Right now, a brick and mortar type building would be required for a commercial use like that.
Erica, these modular structures, now according to my having read this last night, they have to have a permanent foundation. We're not talking about food trucks that are mobile, right? We're talking about something that a trailer with a permanent foundation. That's basically what it is, right?
And I'm going to tell you what I see happen with these things is that people, what the person bringing it forward has in mind and what they can actually do is two different things. This would not allow them to drag in some old trailer and set it up as a restaurant. This has to meet a certain building code. So generally these things don't come to pass. You know, even though they think they want it, they generally don't come to pass when they see what the regulations are because they have to meet fire codes, they have to meet building codes.
You get a letter from the person who built the trailer and
Health
all that
department.
according to what I read.
Right.
Health department, everybody has to get involved.
It sounds like a lot of work. So this does not include like domiciles, right? We're not talking about tiny houses or modular structures or anything like that, correct?
No, these are basically factory fabricated transportable buildings that basically are incorporated at a building site and then placed on a permanent foundation.
Okay.
Kind of like the old Blazers out there at the marathon. Out there.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Okay. Awesome.
Any more questions? Any more discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, please raise your hand.
Go back to the top of it. I move we approve resolution 23-2016.
Have a motion and a second. Now I'm confused again. Okay, now we're ready to vote.
I'd like to just say one thing. This kind of discourages people building property and looking to develop, say, a restaurant or a commercial piece of property rather than bringing in something largely more temporary. We talked about before about building quality structures that can stay, that can last, that can stand the test of time. Yes, it will help create a couple jobs here or there a little faster, but for long-term growth of the city, is that really what we want to see, is temporary buildings going up? That would be my question.
Would it make more sense to do a food truck, to have a food truck resolution and create a buffer outside of the square saying they cannot come within so many feet of, you know what I mean?
One thing to note is the way this ordinance is written, it's for C2 and C3. It excludes C1, which is your central business district, which is your square business
They
district.
can't come here anyway.
Correct. The way this is written, it would not be allowed in the square.
The problem with food trucks is they compete with buildings who are paying taxes
Yeah,
and have utilities
yeah.
and all that. They're fine if they're going in, let's say, I don't know if Southwire allows them or not. If they're going to
Right.
Southwire Gate to
Or
sell
Gold
there, that's
Kissed or
fine,
something like that, yeah.
But otherwise, they compete with folks who are paying the freight.
I understand that totally.
Much of the food truck interest you see in Atlanta is in the form of festivals. They'll have food truck festivals and that sort of thing, and you could get a special event permit for that.
And that's a hot topic on the streets here too. People want food trucks. You know, I keep hearing that over. I think something must be on Food Network or something like that about food trucks.
Maybe it's Guy Fieri
There
or
is-
however you
maybe
say
that's
his name.
what it is because everybody's talking about food trucks.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to call the question.
Question has been called. Assume you're ready to vote. So we're voting this down, your proposal from the planning zone, right?
This is a motion to approve the resolution. The planning commission recommended denial.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying, but the planning commission recommend denial on.
Correct. And I think Mr. Byrd voted to approve the resolution. So that would go against what the Planning Commission had recommended.
I have a motion and a second to approve this. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? So we're going to stick with the planning and zoning board. Resolution 242016, Carrollton Corridor Development and Beautification Committee. Erica, this is still you too.
I think this is my last one, and I'll sit down. The seventh item on your agenda is the establishment of the Carrollton Corridor Development and Beautification Committee. This agenda item you see largely in part due to Councilmember Met Lane and Rory Wolchik. It's kind of their brainchild in an effort to address some of the blighted corridors that are coming into our central business district. The three corridors that are noted in the resolution are Maple Street, what we would commonly refer to as Maple Street, from campus into the downtown, Bankhead Highway into the downtown, which eventually turns into Noonan Street, and then Alabama Street into the downtown from basically Columbia Drive back east into downtown. This particular committee, we have reached out to several of the potential committee members. The intent behind this committee is to basically provide kind of a stakeholder committee. We've got individuals that have property ownership in these corridors. We have individuals that have special skill sets, for instance, in the finance sector. We also have individuals that are realtors that will be marketing these sections. And the idea and the intent is to come back with a strategic plan to address these corridors. These are corridors that have been topics of discussion for many years, and we would like to make a strategic effort and put together a strategic plan to not only plan what we want to see, but then also come up with a strategic plan to pay for it. And I think that the cross-section that you'll see in the proposed nominees, you'll see just that. You'll see a lot of folks from a lot of different backgrounds, and we hope to kind of put our heads together and really work to figure out how we can redevelop these corridors, both with incentives, with design aesthetics, with streetscape improvements. So
Are we going to have like 3 different committees for 3 different roads, or is it just one committee for all 3?
That one committee for all 3. I would strongly recommend some flexibility just in case, like I said, we did get tentative commitments for most of the members, but I think that we may find as we get into it, we need to bring in, say, a specialist in a specific area. So I would recommend that we do allow some flexibility in the membership.
Hey, let me just first say this wasn't my brainchild.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
apologize.
It's actually Walt and I went down to Tifton and talked about it. So,
okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm gonna have to throw Walt on the bus, Mr. Mayor, on this as well. That I know he cares about beautification of the city as well. Mr. Mayor, I just want to say it says 2 members of the mayor and city council, so we didn't want 3 members because then you'd be subject to open records. So I think like if you wanted to attend, I'm sure you could call Roy or me up and say I'd like to substitute. I wouldn't go, you could go, work that way. Same thing with Gerald. However, we want to rotate. We were more excited to get people from the city involved, and not really us. So that's why it says 2 members, where it doesn't appoint just me and Rory. We can rotate in and out. And also we want flexibility to get additional city residents, and I think we all actually have somebody who lives in the county on it as well,
right.
For people that have a stake in the city. So I just want to bring that to your clarification if you did not know that.
I did not know that. That's very good information.
I apologize.
Do you have a kind of a tentative list of who's?
We do have a list. I think we may grow it just a little bit. I know I had spoken with Councilmember Lane on Friday with another member that has some planning background that would be a good one. But we do have kind of a tentative list. We can certainly we'll confirm everything with them once the committee is formed, and then we will put together kind of a short-term agenda, and then within that agenda, we're going to place as one of the items some long-term goals. We don't want this committee. We want this committee to be an implementation team as much as anything, and not just serve as a recommending body. We would really like for them to actually do something.
Any more questions for Ms. Erica?
I'd just like to commend you all on doing this. This is much needed. We needed it a long, long time ago, and I'm very proud and very glad to be a part of this council in their efforts to beautify Carrollton, make it even more beautiful than it already is.
Any more comments?
I'm just excited to see this push along. This is one of the biggest pieces that I campaigned on is beautifying our main business corridors, Bankhead being the biggest piece because it's adjacent to my ward. But really looking at Maple Street, looking at Alabama, 27 as well. I think looking at how our business corridors show what our community really is. I know Bankhead it's really our entrance corridor, and it doesn't show our city for what it is. When you're driving in from Atlanta, coming in on Bankhead, you see that nice little bit where the greenbelt crosses over. It looks wonderful, and then you completely forget what happened. And I think looking at how we can do a really public-private collaboration between the two to make sure that we can be successful. Planting a bunch of azaleas and dogwoods and putting in a sidewalk here or there won't do it. What we need to do is come together from all angles, look at each piece, and to really define and really create a plan to be deliberate and sustainable in the growth in those areas to help push us forward.
And Mr. Mayor, I think our plan also is to try to, once we get something presented, obviously, to you and the city council, but try to roll it into our comprehensive plan, make it a part of that as well.
Yeah, Eric and I had a meeting with the Three Rivers folks last Friday, wasn't it?
Last week. It was one day last week.
Yeah.
My days all run together.
I had one quick little comment. In section 3, the composition and membership paragraph, it says that the mayor and council who shall have the authority to remove any member for any reason. Do we want to keep that? That's just when I highlighted it when I read all this.
I would think that you guys would be the final call.
For any reason? Just because I don't like you, I'm going to remove you from...
I don't think that's the intent of that provision. I think the intent is if there's, say, an inactive member, you know, you guys, we want folks that and I will tell you this, the individuals I spoke with, that they're ready to work.
Yeah. Maybe we could, I wouldn't want to come in as a volunteer and see that and think, whoa, they could just get rid of me and I'm going to be under pressure the whole time. I'm not going to be as creative as I would like to be if I'm under pressure. So maybe we could work on that little phrase right there a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think largely we want to try to push forward. If it will, we could come back to us and say, do we want somebody that is maybe has been ill for a little while or needs to be off themselves? It's looking at that. It's not really just trying to make use a stick the entire time to make sure you're working. But I think it's largely just, look, we want to make sure we've got active people on this committee that are helping push us forward, and we'll just move along that way. I think it's a good option.
Chuck, could we strike for any reason and write for just cause?
Yeah, or you can just put for cause.
Yeah.
You like just cause or for cause?
Friendlier language if we do that.
Just cause or for cause?
Yeah. Just cause we want to.
We're asking these folks to help us. We don't want to remove
Right.
so, that help. I think.
Is there any more discussion? I'd like to call the question.
Go ahead, Mr. Lee.
Do I have a motion that we accept?
Is there a second? Is there a second? Okay.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you very much, Miss Erica. Number 8, reconsideration of billboard lease, Fairway outdoor advertising. Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You will recall at the last meeting, we brought before you a lease with Fairways Outdoor Advertising they had a billboard that had been on city property for 20 years. Their lease had expired. They wanted to renew that lease and at a rent of $300 a month, and the council decided they'd rather not have the billboard in place. So that was the vote at the time. I think Mayor Pro Tem Byrd got a number of phone calls from some folks who had wanted to advertise at least on the short-term period on that billboard, and so he asked that we consider that you reconsider this, that we put it on the agenda. And in the meantime, the company took the billboard down, so the billboard is gone. I know there's a lady here that wanted to advertise on this billboard. Frankly, I don't know where it stands from that standpoint. I just know the billboard is gone.
Is it possible to let her speak?
Suspend the rules.
Well, I make a motion to suspend the rules and allow I forgot your last name. Yeah, Dr. Chang to speak.
Chair will allow.
Yes, I was wanting to advertise for Smiles for Us for kids, and I signed the contract, and unbeknownst to me, that council had voted to take the board structure down. So I contacted the manager at Fairway, and I contacted Mr. Byrd to reconsider. And we were going back and forth with, was it you, Tim? So I don't know who took it down, but, you know.
We certainly didn't. We didn't.
Okay. Let me introduce you to.
It's a mystery.
Thank you. My name is Mark Rainier. I'm the general manager of Fairway Outdoor, and I live in Alpharetta. But we were going back and forth with Tim, with I think you and then Chuck, over about a 4 to 5 week period in July, talking about renewal of the agreement. We were very much in favor of getting it up, not because we wanted another billboard, because that location is being driven by the marketplace. It's a side-by-side, top and bottom, so it has opportunity for 4 different businesses to advertise on it. And for us, it has been a relatively busy location. And so that means that the marketplace, the need was driving the location. So during the course of the communications back and forth, we actually thought that we had an agreement just because of the terminology that was used as we exchanged terms. You guys had asked for $3,600 a year. We came back with $2,400. And then, at least from the emails that I brought with me, we said maybe we could meet in the middle. That was on one point. And so then we sent a lease agreement, and Chuck was working on it over the weekend, and he said it looked good. He wanted to edit it, mark it up, Tim, have you initial it, and then send it back to us. If we would have known that wasn't a done deal then, we would have been here to answer additional questions when this came up about a month ago. So I apologize for the confusion on our part, but we thought that that was it. So then, as we understood then, after this meeting, the board needed to come down. Tim, you asked my liaison there, Seth Garrett, how fast can you have it down? And so we said, well, by the 1st of September, if that's what you want. And we asked, is there any way to have a meeting? Because we didn't know there was going to be a meeting to decide that. And you said, no, the board decided it's down. So a couple of days before the 1st of September, we removed the board because we didn't want to be in violation of the deadline that we had set up. And it was during that time period and shortly thereafter that people in the business community came back and said, what happened there? It's a valuable piece of marketing for us. We would like to see the board up. And so hence I'm here tonight to see what we might be able to do.
Thank you, sir.
This is voted on at the last meeting, right?
In July. No, it was August.
It wasn't here. You weren't here. Yeah. So where do we go from here? It's almost like we're crying over spilled milk.
Em, you want to jump in on this one?
You know, the bottom line is the billboard been there for 20 years. Obviously, you have the authority to whether you want to let it stay or let it go, but it's gone. I mean, my recommendation is leave it down. I realize that's not what you want to hear, but it's a bit of an eyesore. It's on the property next to the water plant. We had, it's not a lot of money. It's not something that's a windfall for the city. You know, y'all enjoyed the space for 20 years for, I think, $1 a year, and more power to you. I mean, I'm, you know, not criticizing you for that, but I mean, frankly, there's been a lot of miscommunication back and forth, and again, I apologize for that, but it's down now, and I'd recommend you leave it down.
My name is Felicia, and on behalf of the billboard, I would like to say that billboard, I've been in Carrollton all my life. That billboard has been there for a number of years that I can recall, that for that structure to be taken down. It is a City of Carrollton sign right up under there. I do understand from the last meeting that someone had said that that the trucks was tearing it up when they come to repair or put another sign up, which was incorrect, because those trucks are parked on the side of the road. They don't have any hindrance to that grass. By means, that nice City of Carrollton sign that sets up under there is that sign above is not hurting anything. And when I was a little bit disturbed because we were in contract with Fairway to have a billboard placed there, and I am aware, I watched the last city council meeting, and for it to be voted down because someone says, I just don't like the guy. And that's a business opportunity, even though if it's $2,400 to $3,000 that the city makes, that's $3,000 that the city has to do something with and not. And it is an opportunity to us as business people as well as Fairway to advertise businesses there. So it's a win-win situation for us as a business, as for Fairway for advertisement, and also for the City of Carrollton, even though it's not a lot of money that the City of Carrollton is receiving from that, but it is additional income coming into the City of Carrollton. So I don't think it harms anybody by the sign being there. If Fairway wants to, will agree to put the structure back up to allow the advertisement to go on, that's a lot of business opportunities for new businesses that are coming in this area.
I think it's great to market our local businesses, make sure that they have that opportunity to advertise. But at this point, what we're looking at is putting up a billboard on city property. Do we want to allow that for all pieces of city property? or I feel like making that precedence to allow for billboards on this piece will push for it in other locations. I'd rather just see that it stay down and just continue on.
Rory, I think this is a special situation though, because they were under contract, and that sounds really somewhat, I guess, grandfather may not be the correct word to use, Chuck, but it was somewhat grandfathered in because it had been there all along, and we were actually profiting from that sign. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it will set a precedent if we offer them a special dispensation and put the sign back intact on the spot, out of goodwill and good nature on behalf of the city. I think that we should put it back.
Point of information, Mr. Mayor, since I went here in August, did the lease expire, and that's why it came down? Okay. So it's nothing the city council did.
Yeah,
It was just, it expired.
We voted on
but it expired, right?
The issue before the mayor and council at the August meeting was whether to renew the lease. It had expired.
We honestly didn't know there was a lease. We didn't know it was on city property. They were kind enough to approach us and let us know. But it's not something the city's been paid for over 20 years. I believe it was $1 a year. Is that correct?
Yes, it was the oddest thing I've seen. It was a settlement of some earlier action that went bad. So I think we were forced to move it to get it out of an area where you were developing at that point. And so that's why that location was picked. And the city kind of grew up around it. Some of the amount is $3,000. It was actually, that came from you guys. You wanted 3,600, so I don't disagree.
Now, I will tell you the amount was not that it's a big deal one way or the other, the amount was $300 a month. And we actually got that number. There are two local billboard companies, and I went to them and said, what is this worth?
Sure.
You know, and that's where we got that number.
Sure. So we have Carroll Cultural Arts Festival. Would like to go up there, and then Keep Carroll Beautiful. These are just two of the advertisers, in addition to some that were disappointed that the structure came down. And so we'd like you to rethink that.
Tim, the structure was outdated also, wasn't it? We don't allow 2-deck signs anymore.
It's my understanding that DOT does not allow that anymore, and that is they do have some authority over that, even though it's on our property. Again, that information I got from one of the local billboard companies. And I want to stress, too, they keep saying we will put it back. The city would not put it back. We're not in the billboard business, so we would not put it back.
Yeah, when I say we will put it back, if I said that, I did not mean we will physically put it back. I mean we will.
So if we allow it for it to come, if we allow it to come back up, will they have to conform with the new standards, or will they go back with the old original with 2-deck?
Do we want to make a point to allow billboards on city property? Is that what we want to vote on?
Just one time, one case, since they were already there and they've been there for 20 years. And there's so much confusion surrounding the whole thing.
And are you talking about, this is a 3-year lease. Are we talking about doing this for 3 years? Are we talking about doing it are you thinking long-term? What's the plan?
Well, the old lease was 3 years, or was it 20 years?
No, the old lease was 20 years, and what we are traditionally seeing now is 10 plus 10 with an option, and I think that might have been in the counter. The reason for that is to put this back up will be between 20 and 30 grand. So it will take the first 18 months to 2 years for it to break even. So that's why 3 years is difficult. Also, billboards, a little different than radio and newspaper even, it's longer term commitments generally. Our advertisers, Walker Chevrolet down the road and Don Rich Ford, they've been on some of those structures for 10 or 20 years. So that's why when the counter came from you guys to let's look at 3 years. I understand you wanting to have that flexibility. The economics of it and what drives the marketing for Auto Home is generally contrary to something short term.
I drove past it since it's down. I think it looks wonderful. Seeing the trees behind it, the sky, I'm a fan of the way it looks currently.
But I must say, on behalf of that, I mean, with that structure there or not, it's the same, because you have the City of Carrollton sign sitting there right underneath that, where that billboard was. So if you have a City of Carrollton sign there and you put the billboard back up, bring it back up to par, up to standard where code says it should be, if they're willing to put the structure back up, it's no loss to the City of Carrollton. It's a gain for everyone. So I don't see the mishap in it. And the billboard company, it's a lot of billboards coming down 27, and for that one structure that's been there that many years, I don't see the need for you to say, well, it shouldn't be there because it's down now. That's a business opportunity for someone else.
What about the adjacent properties? Have you spoken to the adjacent property owners and tried to maybe, and I don't know if you can legally do that, but to erect the sign on the adjacent property or the neighboring property?
No, we haven't.
Arco
We haven't
signage
yet.
or something like that? You have not?
There are a lot of restrictions on billboards to put a new one, and the property's got to be zoned a particular way, and it's not that simple.
But if that one was already, if that property, which is owned by the city, if it was already grandfathered in for that billboard, to space to go there, you wouldn't have to have additional regulations in order for that billboard to remain standing there.
I'd like to make a motion. I make a motion that we approve Fairway Outdoor Advertising to restore and re-erect their billboard in the mentioned location with current standards and guidelines.
Mitch?
Excuse me, we need to know the rental amount and the duration of the lease, and if you want an escalator each year. If you're going to do a 10-year lease, that's a long time to keep a price, so we need to know those terms also.
Okay, let's do a 10-year lease added to that motion at the rate of $300 a month. And that's the addendum that I'd like to add to the motion.
You want to do an addendum, Gerald? You just want to extend your motion?
Extend my motion, please.
Is your second still standing? Roy's second still standing. Any more discussion? So we have a motion to replace. You want to restate your motion, Gerald?
I don't think I need to. I think we all heard it. I move we replace the sign. I move that we allow Fairway Outdoor Advertising to replace the billboard which was removed and make it comply with current regulations and stipulations for billboards within the city of Carrollton. And we have a 10-year lease agreement of $300 a month.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Byrd, for restating that. Assume y'all are ready to vote. All in favor, please raise your hand to reinstate the billboard. Motion fails. All against? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 9, Esco Way, Fraser Road property transfer to the Payroll Development Authority. Says me, but I'm going to peel over to Andy Camp. You want to come address this for me, Andy?
Yes, sir, I can. I believe you have in front of you a description of the property, where it's located, and then, if my understanding is correct, and please fill in any holes where I may be wrong, the property would, the suggestion is the property would be transferred to the Carrollton Payroll Development Authority for the purposes of transferring it over to our business development or our recruitment efforts. That could be an existing business that's expanding in Carrollton that wants a site, or it could be one that we recruit to the area. And we've taken a look at this property. We've vetted it. We believe that it would be a good location. There are some industries around that as well, and we think that it would be a great opportunity. And we would appreciate your support on it.
Let's make any new businesses or any new operations coming in, to that magnitude, give Rory's committee and the mayor's committee of beautification some money. Make that a stipulation.
They will, in the form of increasing the tax base.
And job.
And job creation.
Jobs, and pay for beautification.
Actually could be something that is addressed.
I know I
committee.
sound like I'm playing, but I'm serious.
No, sir. I'm dead serious. So don't misread me.
Good.
That's something that I believe would be a great subject of discussion for that committee.
Mm-hmm. They're going to get tax abatement, so hey, there you go.
Well, and
So
it wouldn't just be that particular location, but it would be, as you look at a community-wide corridor.
Wouldn't that be neat?
Things. But yes, sir. There'd be opportunities all around. So.
But basically, this is just, we purchased the property, and now we've got to give it to the payroll authority so they can dispose of the property legally.
And there's no possibility of this place becoming that athletic facility that we voted on 10 years ago, or however long ago it was.
No, sir. We're not aware of any plans they have.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, there's a couple of points that I'd like to clarify because I'm asking for permission to do a few things with this, if you don't mind. This was 117 acres. The county paid for half of this, but it's in the city's name. But we feel like morally they own half of this. That was the agreement. What I've heard from Marty is that proceeds, this originally came about so that Jordan Truck Sales could purchase 10 acres at $10,000 an acre. Again, that would be a transaction between the Development Authority and Jordan Truck Sales. You'll see a map in the back of there. We would like for the city and the county to joint venture and extend the road off Fraser Road toward Esco Way. And what I had proposed to the chairman is that the city would pay for the material, the gravel and the asphalt and any pipe, and that the county would do the work. And that was about, and I would just rough estimate that'd be about $50,000. That's approximately what we're going to get as proceeds out of this property. So just wanted you to know we were planning to do that. If you're okay with that, we feel like it's the time to do it, and the funding from this property sale would be there. Jordan is a booming business. This is the right place for him to expand. But are you talking about transferring all 117 acres at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that would be all the property would transfer as you are paid the $100,000 for this property. 50 would come to the city. I think Marty's asking for 50 to go to their development authority. Is that your understanding, Andy?
We were still.
And that would be between y'all. So.
Yes, sir. We were still discussing what that may or may not look like, but if that's how this body, this council would like to handle it, we just need to make sure that we understand how we need to.
And that's really
disseminate.
between y'all. I would just, it was my understanding, if the council's okay with this, that there'd be $50,000. That's half the proceeds on this property sale that would come back to the city. We'd use that to do that road.
And so we want to do that for the potential deal that we're talking about.
Correct.
With that existing business expansion.
Correct.
Yes, sir. We can do that. We would, of course, want to make sure that the authority is understanding that before we just commit to them. I represent them, but I do not have a vote. Yes, sir. We have a representative with the mayor. So that is something we can take back before them and finalize it. Chuck, does that sound right?
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing then is that the property, the entire 117 acres, is going to be transferred to the Payroll Development Authority. At such time as the 10 acres is transferred to Jordan Truck Sales, that money will then be returned to the city and county to be split evenly. And I think what I would do is probably do it all as part of one transaction, and you just simultaneously close those deals. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, if that's what y'all want to do, that's definitely doable.
Do we need any form of intergovernmental agreement or anything?
We will, but we can do that. I think that just needs to be done. Well, really ask between all three parties, because we would want, obviously, permission to go in and do the road, and then we would have to agree as between the city and the county in terms of the materials and the construction. But those are details we can work out.
Right.
Any more discussion from the council? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to transfer the 117 acres to the Rural Development Authority.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second from Mr. Byrd. All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Basin repairs and water treatment plant. Tony. Sure you're glad to stand up for a little while.
Item 10 on the agenda for your consideration is repairs to our drinking water treatment plant on Highway 27 or North Park Street there. It is largely constructed of reinforced concrete, that facility is, and this portion that we're talking about here is located outdoors. Some of these basins were constructed in the early 50s, the others were constructed in the early 70s, and over time it has shown fractures and cracks. We conducted a study, testing and engineering consultants did over 2014 and 2015, and their analysis included ground penetrating radar to inspect the structural steel that's found in the concrete. They also did core samples and did compaction studies and exceeded today's standards on both. So they recommended a rehabilitation or a coating of the current concrete, and we received 4 bids to proceed with this if you approve. The bids were Industrial Furnace Company, $254,159. Utility Service Company, $241,250. Mopac Building Services, $228,209.20. And GRC Stonewater at $153,000. We've got these bids, and they actually are for blasting, cleaning, and a cementitious layer, and then followed by a 2-part epoxy type coating over that will create an impervious surface so that the water cannot penetrate the concrete. These are dependent on atmospheric conditions for the curing time, so it's recommended they be performed in fall or spring as opposed to winter or summer. These trains are actually 4 trains at the water plant. We can take one down and still operate the water plant on the other 3, so we still have 75% of our production capacity. And we recommend that we do it in phases, 1 per year over the next 4 years. And we request that you approve the GRC Stonewater bid, the low bid of $153,000 for the phase 1 of this project.
And this is for one of those trains, one basin. So
we cannot do all of them at once.
You'll do this 3 more times over the next 4 years.
This will be phase 1 of 4 phases.
Any questions? I'll call the question. Anybody want to make a motion to accept the stormwater?
Drinking water.
I mean, what company?
Oh, GRC Stonewater.
Are we going to rebid them every year, Tony?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I make a motion that we, empower the city manager to enter into a contract with GRC Stonewater in the amount of $91,350. Am I reading this wrong? I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
153.
153 even. I apologize.
Let me just say, too, anytime you get into something like this, you're going to run in. You may save a little, you may add a little, but this bidder was obviously much lower than the others, so
and this
we could
is
run
in
into
the
some
current
things we didn't anticipate.
Budget. This is in the current water plant budget.
So have a motion. We have a second. Have a second. Any more questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for your work.
Number 11. Bids Lake Carroll Spillway improvements. Tony, this is you too.
That's me. Item 11 is for improvements to the spillway of Lake Carroll. In July, we were informed by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Environmental Protection Division that our Lake Carroll Dam has been reclassified from a Category 1 to a Category 2, meaning it's a lower hazard dam and carries far fewer restrictions for us and allows us more access to our dam. So they sent us the letter that approved the reclassification, and this was over a period of over a year's worth of work to get them to do that. But with that, they do require us to maintain that structure. It's determined to be low hazard, but we still have to maintain it. But now we do have better access to the location, so we would like to improve that spillway. And if you've been by there, you've seen the broken up concrete, so we'd like to replace that concrete. We did solicit bids and received the ones that's to be presented to you tonight. This will include the removal and replacement of that concrete, along with some larger stone at the bottom to do away with that fall so it'll cascade on into the stream. We received a bid of GRC Stonewater from GRC Stonewater of $91,350, from Georgia Alabama Woodlands Incorporated for $88,500, and from McIntosh Specialty Services of $74,670. And we anticipate, if you approve this work to be done, that it coincide with some future work with some FEMA-funded money that will require the lake to be lowered so that the residents can improve their docks and seawalls during that time.
Question. They talking about replacing that concrete spill water with type 1 stone. What is that?
Type 1 stone is your larger 2-foot stone. So it's smaller stone will move when that, especially during high flow periods coming off of that dam. This type 1 stone is more stable. We looked at a dam in Kentucky that the whole spillway is constructed of the type 1 stone, and it seems to have held in place.
But to clarify, this is going to re-pour the center section of that concrete.
It will re-pour the center section, including rebar grid that'll be on a 4-foot center in there too to help hold that structure together.
Well, we're going to fill up the cavity up under the concrete also, right?
Yes, sir.
The bridge that's there, is that included?
It's not. We're going to change order that in. It's just redecking that bridge. It won't be a lot of money.
Any more discussion? Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a
Awarding the bid to McIntosh Specialty Services for the lake water spillway improvements.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're saying ready to vote. All in favor of McIntosh paving? McIntosh Specialty. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Tony. Number 12, Appointment Planning Commission. Gerald.
You want to nominate Ms. Houston, don't you?
Yes, I vote to renominate Sandra Penny Wallace Houston on our Planning and Zoning Committee, and she is willing to serve, and I'm glad to have her back.
I'll make a motion to close nominations.
I'll second that. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. Carries us down to mayor and council announcements. Anybody got anything you want to say?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I would like to invite everyone to the grand opening of Legends West, which is on 4th Street in West Carrollton. On behalf of the mayor and council, city manager, and the city of Carrollton, we would like to cordially invite you to the grand opening, or we're calling them opening ceremonies, of Legends West, Sunday, September 18th, 2016, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And I think Legends West, Legends West will honor 50 citizens, and it will. Some have passed away, and some are still with us today. Some are educators, even the local barber on the corner. It's all about everyday heroes who made a great difference in this community. People like Barbara Green and Tony Dermo. And if you haven't seen Legends West, I do believe, Peter and your staff, you have been absolutely phenomenal. And we worked, and Tim, I'm going to brag on you in a minute, but we work so hard every single day. I feel like I'm an employee of the rec department because we have meticulously built what I think is the best looking park in this city. It looks like a kingdom over there. It's absolutely splendid and impeccable. There's a butterfly garden there. There's a stage. I could just go on and on. A full kitchen. It's the only full service public kitchen in this town where you can go, and there's a roll-up window. And the idea behind that roll-up window is that on the coldest, darkest days, we're going to go there and hopefully partner with the soup kitchen and feed some hungry people. So we've already done a lot of things over there. A lot of activities are going on. But this coming Sunday from 3 o'clock to 4:30 p.m., we'd like to have you guys there for the opening ceremony. There's going to be a dove release that Peter's arranging. That's what they asked today. You don't want to do that. We talked about that all day long. But oh, Lordy, we have to keep him away. But I would, and now I'd like to brag on Tim a little bit too. I've been here for a long time, sitting in this same chair since I was a very, very young man. Now I'm an old man. And I've worked with 4 city managers. And I've had to debate with those city managers, and sometimes we fight, and we go at it real hard. And I'm proud to say that I'm proud of Tim Grizzard and the work that he has done. I'll call Tim today with a complaint from a citizen. Tomorrow it's dealt with, sometimes on the spot, no matter how big, no matter how small, and there's never any question at all. It's just yes, sir, no problem, and it's done. So, Tim, I'm very proud of you, and I'm happy to work with you, and I hope you're here for a long time, and I thank you for everything you've done. And I know you may not be popular in some circles, but I get to see every day the work that you do. And when I walk the streets of my ward or this city, I hear nothing but compliments about all the wonderful things that are going on in this city. And you're the person who makes those happen every single day. And I'm trying to get my constituents to understand that I don't really work at City Hall because they're like, you're never there. I don't really work there. You are us here every single day, greeting these people and being an ambassador to this city. And on top of that, making all this stuff work and making it happen. I can't say thank you to the people in that corner over there enough. I know I could just go on and on and on. I think y'all deserve to be 30 minutes late for work tomorrow. Or maybe an hour. Maybe take the whole day off after this meeting.
Come on.
But Tim, I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of you guys over there. You make us look good. So thank y'all very, very much for the hard work, and I've enjoyed working with you all. I'm enjoying working with you all. I'm sounding like I'm about to die or something.
Yeah, I'd like just a couple things. I know we're all ready to go. I just wanted to say thank you to all the staff that helped with a public forum that I had last month. It was well attended. We had a lot of productive conversation about smaller issues, bigger plans for the city, and it was just a different forum to be able to hear the concerns of citizens. It was a lot less formal, and I plan to do more of them. Maybe not exactly the same format. I heard it was pretty dark, and I was pretty quiet in there, and I want to make sure that people can hear what everybody in the room is saying. But I just want to say thank you, Sherry. You helped a lot with that, and it was wonderful. Tony, you showed me around the wastewater plant and the spray fields, and I learned a ton about how that whole process works. It didn't smell bad at all. A couple areas did, but not really. You guys keep it very clean. Danny over there does a wonderful job. I just want to say thank you for walking around, showing how the process works, and I appreciate all the work that you do over there.
I really don't have any announcements. I just some housekeeping items real quick. Tim, or do we need? I was talking to the mayor. Are we cool for October meeting?
Oh, I do. That was one of the things on my list. If you don't mind.
Okay, I'll defer to you on that. And then also, we should be having the public hearings coming up, and you're going to address that as well. All right. Then that's really all I have, as long as you'll address those.
I just want to say thank you to city staff. Y'all just keep amazing me, keep getting up and stuff. Erica was good with Three Rivers the other day. Between the two of us, we muddled through most of it. So it was good enough. George, I want to say thank you for coming in. You've been talking about this for a long time. We know what something needs to be done. We'll see what we can figure out about it for you. Other than that, everybody just keep up the good work.
In the fire department, baby, yeah. Woo, if I may.
Oh, I'll run through these quickly. We've got public hearings on the millage rate. There are two on the 14th. That's Wednesday of this week, one at 11:30, one at 6 p.m. Your voting meeting on the millage is on the 21st, 9/21, and that's at 6 p.m. That is a voting meeting. I would request, I have a fairly important medical meeting October 3rd. That is the date of our next scheduled regular council meeting. I don't think I can make it back from Atlanta in time. I would ask, we really need a work session more than we need a voting meeting in early October, and I would ask you to consider having a work session that following Thursday, which would be October 6th. And we would like to have a roundtable like we did last time. I think that format was well received, and we could have it at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, whichever you prefer. So I'm asking to cancel the October 3rd meeting and call a work session on the 6th.
Can we go ahead and put this density issue in the work session?
Absolutely. Now, you realize we could advertise and you could vote on it on the 21st if you like, but I think y'all need to decide. Forget I said that. Let's discuss it on the 6th. I think you're right. Let's discuss it on the 6th.
Jim, can I make one clarification? The second public hearing on the 14th, 6:15.
I'm sorry. I had it down wrong. 6:15.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple other things. Again, I mentioned the 200 resident development that's being proposed. We also got our insurance quote. We had budgeted a 12% increase. We got a 4.5%. That's a $277,000 savings. So that's a cushion in your budget. And then if you're wondering what's going on Wooden Bridge, I'm dealing with the railroad. That's the best way I know to describe it. We're trying to hire their contractor to make the repair, and he's working through their permits, and nothing is simple. But we are in the midst of that repair, or trying to get to where we're starting to actually do the repair.
Can I get you to clarify which insurance? Would that be GL?
Our medical insurance, I'm sorry.
I hereby declare this meeting adjourned.
Good night, everybody.